This is Smart Means Business. Good morning once again. We are here with you till the hour of 10 a.m. But at this moment, we'll be getting into our business insight. When we come back, we'll be giving you the weekly recap of the top stories.
Now, Minister of Works, KCCA and the police shall make further guidance on how and where the training will take place, especially the venues and the timing, because also we've designed the curriculum in such a way that we shall be engaging these riders during the off-peak hours. We want them to continue making money as long as they qualify, but then off-peak hours, we engage you. So a day they can design for 3 hours or 4 hours, depending on how they will fit. But that one will be communicated, I think, from 28th this month. Then the training will not be free. I repeat, the training is not going to be free. This is a school. You've come to acquire knowledge. If you think knowledge is expensive, go and try ignorance. Police will net you. So there is no free things here. The training is not going to be free. And remember, it's going to be conducted by private training schools, as indicated above. However, the good news is that government, it shall be at a subsidized cost, which has been negotiated by government. But please, my fellow riders, my people, don't go for free things. Free things are very expensive. At least have value, touch value to your life. That's why I'm calling upon you to pick that small company and go and pay for these trainings. Because this is a school. You are getting your own certificate. That certificate is not going to be inherited by any one of us. You will die with it. So this is your life. This is your permit. It will read your name, not stroke by another person. It will not read Chofa stroke or Yimbas. No, it will read your name. So you go and pay for it. So KCC will provide, I've told you, further guidance on the requirements for registration and the next steps towards acquiring the operating permit. Because I know most of you are going to ask the objective. The second objective of all what we are doing is to have load fit and qualified people to operate in the Kampala capital city. So all these requirements will be communicated to you once the training is done or during the training process. And of course, a lot of other people will come and take us through with what we need. Then before we move to acquiring our permits. And also I need to remind ourselves that the permit acquisition or the cost of permit is a bit engulfing so many costs, because when these people go for a permit, they charge them between 540 to 1,080,000 shillings, because they say, we are going to train you, we are going to pay some money for IOV in Naguru, we are going to do this. Now, for you, you've hit so many birds with one stone, that during the training, the police will be there. They would have tested you, immediately will test you. After training, IOV will come. All these are costs which are being borne by government. IOVs will come, test you, and then satisfy you. So you get a competent certificate. Once you all get this, you just walk down there and get your permit. So we are trying to minimize and cut costs for you, because for us we there and we think about you, we cry, we dream, we actually be very sympathetic, and we feel we love your lives than you do. So I don't want to hear the things of saying the permit is expensive. Yes, the permit has been expensive because people dupe with them. That's why they pay between 540 to 1 million plus, because they put in embed a lot of various cost centers. Now what we've done is to cut all the cost centers, and we say let government take on all these responsibilities, and we get sensible and fit riders on our roads. Then we end the carnage Because I wouldn't mind you to die, but you are killing our younger girls and boys, our children, our youth who have just graduated, some in year 1, year 2, and so on and so forth. Not mentioning again the younger children who are in primary school. So you are killing the future generation of this country. Now for us, we came up to save the future generation, and then we can deal with your life thereafter. That were trained 10,500. Those are the previously trained people. And indeed, if you are observant enough on the road, that's why there has been some bit of manners. Whenever you find them, for them they somehow adhere and obey the rules, because they are still fresh from the school. And if you took an initiative and you went to where the junction boxes are, those are the people you see stopping before the junction box. Then these other ones, they just come anyhow and enter in the middle of the junction box, in the middle of the roundabout, the junction. And Article 5 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Kampala capital. Kampala is the capital of the city. And then under the Act, Kampala capital city is centrally governed. So there are no specific something because we are waiting for the ordinances. No, Kampala is still subscribing all to the laws and regulations of the country. If they want, why can't they have their metropolitan police, metropolitan this, metropolitan this?
Honorable Togavie, and the TechCom was, I think knowledge is expensive. Tracking ignorance. But that was our business insight this morning. Away from that, just to give you the stories that were topping the headlines this week. To start off is the Insurance Regulatory Authority quarterly performance. And the demand for insurance, which is not yet a priority for the majority of Ugandans, is highly influenced by what we call macroeconomic factors. And as inflation stays in double digits, impacting purchasing power and limiting savings, the Insurance Regulatory Authority enhances of hitting the 15% growth quota with 18%, and the end of year growth is currently being revised from 12 to 14.2%. And this has a lot of impact on the people who are in the insurance industry, the insurers, and even us,
the clients,
who are the clients to these insurance entities.
And actually, according to this report, the third quarter performance 2022, it shows that the industry has grown faster in this third quarter. The insurance industry in Uganda has grown faster compared to the earlier, according to what they had, earlier months. And also they had projected probably that it could grow later, but it's been slightly increasing. Because according to a report I see here, figures released by the Insurance Authority Uganda at the briefing, they indicate that the industry grew by 18.57%. That's as at the end of September, surpassing the 15% growth rate which had been projected earlier. So it surpassed their projections. So they had underestimated the industry, in other words.
Well, sometimes it's good to underestimate, then you surpass.
You get surprised.
Yeah, you surpass the expectations. But yes. Away from that, there was an interesting report. About a particular government entity that has not been funded
for 7 years.
Though they claim the failure to perform has only manifested in 2020. What does the report say? Actually,
according to the report, let me review it right here. Of course, the Uganda Institute of Information and Communications Technology stand the committee that's of the public accounts, of course, by revealing that the government hasn't financed them for more than 7 years, which has affected their performance for the 2020. Now, look, this is a technological institute, remember? And it was established in 1962. And when you look at the buildings, which are really in a very sorry state. Now, the whole aspect was that they had been requested that why didn't they use the money like the fees they charge. Despite the fact that it's a government institute, their fees they charge the students that go there,
Right.
to try to cater for like pay salaries of teachers, try to do some renovation of the infrastructure.
Yes.
But then the COVID-19, the effects of the COVID, actually that's the excuse they gave.
But they were affected
By the COVID-19, no students were not really showing up to the schools. So
Fair enough, I would say.
I guess so. It must be.
Fair enough,
Yes.
because we had points when people were not actually studying.
Yeah.
So you would partially understand that maybe there is some truth to what they're saying.
Some
I use the
truth
word
was-
maybe.
Okay, but there is. But 7 years is a long time. But then now we are waiting for the Ministry of Education officials to meet the Public Accounts Committee. That's this week. No, sorry, next week.
Yes,
Yeah, next week, and they really have to account for this. Yeah.
Well, let's wait and see. We'll be definitely getting the report
Yeah.
from whatever would have transpired next week. But also this week, we looked at the IMF gave us an economic outlook
Yeah.
when it comes to Uganda, and we
Sub-Saharan countries in the Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And let's wait and see how this unfolds as well, because there's always been controversies or differences between the IMF information and some of our countries and the information we have. We think we are in the middle income state, and IMF thinks no, we still have a long way.
So there is some bit of contradiction.
There
It's
is
so interesting that if somebody from IMF speaks something about Uganda, and yet you, the citizen of the country, you don't relate to that, because your life, you know what you're going through as a citizen, and you know what your colleagues are going through, the people you've met. So there should be a correlation between what IMF says vis-a-vis what the natives in the country feel.
Because IMF is believed to have information that is, this is an international body, so definitely there's no way it can stand and give information that is not relevant. But lastly, on our stories this morning, the Uganda Innovation Week.
Yeah, actually from Kampala Innovation Week to Uganda, trying to cut across all the innovators.
Starting up a business is one of the most
Of course, the theme
challenging
for this
tasks.
year was Uganda's entrepreneurial ecosystem of unlocking the missing links. I happened to actually get in touch with a chairman, Startup Uganda, the organizers of this week, and he told me that the challenge we have is that our education system in regarding to equipping the students with IT knowledge is of standard, but the only challenge we have is transfer of that knowledge into commercialization. So entrepreneurial ecosystems, how can people really get money from their innovations? That was the theme for this year.
Well, I am looking forward to how far this can go, because I believe that we need help in that area.
We do.
We do need
Quite
help in that
mentorship of innovators, and quite so many.
And also, their rights as innovators.
Yeah.
Some do not know where they should begin and where they should stop and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
Let's call it a wrap for the week. How about that?
Well,
It is a Friday.
It is a Friday,
I
yeah,
believe
and,
it's time to get into the weekend.
the weekend.
Yeah, like I said, you're already dressed for the weekend, so
How ready are you for that?
parting with me. Let's have your parting shot as I think about how ready I am for the weekend.
You're ready for it? Of course, me as usual, I would love to go catch a movie, whatever movie. By the way, I don't really go with what's trending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, Andrew is going to be catching a movie this weekend. I don't know what you're going to be doing. Well, one of the things you can do for yourself is watch Smart 24 TV. My name is Chantal, and I've been here with Andrew Barige. We shall be back on Monday for Smart Means Business, but other programming continues. So make sure that you stay tuned on DSTV, on GoTV. Also, in case you missed the program, you can catch us on YouTube, Smart 24 Live. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Smart 24